massive debts. This isn't the first time we hear Niji Sanji live.
Hello. Hello.
So for me, the first thing I had to check to solve my whole microphone buzzing problem was I needed to check my cables. And I don't always do that. I think periodically, as I'm shifting things around in my office room here, we should be checking our cables. You don't want to kind of have things overlapping. So you want to check to see if you are getting static or buzz. Number one, see if you have a bad cable. Check to see if there's, frays in the wiring, if you might have accidentally ran over it with a chair or something that might have frayed some of the wiring and is now causing buzz. You also want to make sure that you have not, let's say, crossed the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
In my situation, that's what I found to be the case. My XLR microphone cable was too close to the power source cable, and that was causing a bit of an electrical distortion. So for me, the first thing I had to check to solve my whole microphone buzzing problem was I needed to check my cables. And I don't always do that. I think periodically, as I'm shifting things around in my office room here, we should be checking our cables. You don't want to kind of have things overlapping. So you want to check to see if you are getting static or buzz. Number one, see
Hello. Uh,
If you have a bad cable, check to see if there's, frays in the wiring, if you might have accidentally ran over it with a chair or something that might have frayed some of the wiring and is now causing buzz. You also want to make sure that you have not, let's say, crossed the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
In my situation, that's what I found to be the case. My XLR microphone cable was too close to the power source cable. And I don't always do that. I think we should be checking our cables. You don't want to kind of have things overlapping. So you want to check to see if you are getting static or buzz. Number one, see if you have a bad cable. Check to see if there's, frays in the wiring, if you might have accidentally ran over it with a chair or something that might have frayed some of the wiring, now causing buzz. You also want to make sure that you have not, let's say, crossed the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
In my situation, that's what I found to be the case. My XLR microphone cable was too close to the power source cable, and that was causing a bit of an electrical
Ah.
Speak about monetary trouble
Ah.
due to tax issues, and while many could speak about monetary trouble
Ah.
due to tax issues, and while many could monetary trouble due to tax issues, and while many could due to tax issues, and while many could point the blame on the individual responsibility of each talent, it's also not unrealistic nor unheard of to expect a company you work for to guide you through these steps and to provide you with resources to thrive in a brand new workplace environment and a profession.
Start your adventure on a fresh Classic Plus realm that puts the RPG back in Azeroth. Explore new places, challenge deadlier creatures, and uncover
To which there are practically no rulebook for yet. And it's not just the low profit share that is the issue or even the financial burden. Most people would still be okay with accepting a lower wage in exchange for doing what they love and what is creatively fulfilling to them. But clearly, the talents not only feel used but also shackled by the corporate restrictions. From projects being denied without consulting them, such as when now graduated talent Pomu revealed management had declined a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity without even consulting her.
Or rather, I don't know, asked of me? Or offered to me? Offered to me. Offered to me. And I get why it wasn't accepted, but it's really frustrating. Things weren't negotiated or anything, it was just flat out no. Because I felt like maybe it was maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity or something, I don't know.
To Vivi being barred out of the lower brackets as to not interact with terminated livers during the Tekken Slam tournament organized by Sajam.
I've been running the slam for a while. The first slam I ran was right after there was some initial issues with Niji Sanji. I wasn't very familiar with it at the time. I kind of looked into it a little bit and I was like, am I causing a ruckus here? Is someone going to be upset? And it didn't seem like that was going to be a problem. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Now, to my understanding, Mrs. Bird and Mrs. Brightshield and the rest of Niji Sanji have not been involved in the same event. There's been some problems. I don't know the details. I have no idea. Mrs. Bird and like Niji Sanji not being in the same tournament. To my knowledge, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is one of, if not the first time they've like been in the same event. I don't know if that's the case or not. But like obviously there's some trepidation.
Could it be? Is she in the Sajam Slam again? Yes, that is right. I will be participating in Sajam Slam 3 for the Street Fighter 6 arc. Alright, now for the part where a lot of you guys are here for because of my pinned message. I will address the elephant in the room. So you might have seen like people who are participating in this current Sajam Slam. Apparently, the conditions that they gave the organizers was that there has to be 0 interactions between me and them. That means we won't be on the same team and they will not be in my skill division.
Or even Victoria Brightshield being left out of a major collab and only finding out once it got announced on social media. Or simply denying livers the right to invest back into their own content, such as Management denying Matara the right to pay for a new rig.
You know, one thing I had to ask? I had to ask if I could pay to get myself re-rigged. And it wasn't something I was allowed. But I was like, please, can I pay to get a re-rigging? Please, I beg you.
And Reza from ID also confirmed previously that they weren't allowed to invest back their own money into projects, and that was the reason he envied indie VTubers who could.
Of course I earn money from other places, right? But that money can't exactly be used immediately for my VTubing career. That's what I'm a little bit jealous of. When I see like indie VTubers, like, man, they can just spend money to buy to make new models and everything.
And Maidmint, previously Pomu, finally opened up about her 3D model whilst at Nijisanji, noting how disappointing the quality was compared to other 3D models and how she had to wait an entire year for changes that weren't even applied, thus only allowing her to use her model twice before retiring.
I had a dream once where I got a 3D model and I really didn't like it. And I felt that compared to other 3D models, it was not good. It had less detail compared to the other 3D models, and it made me really sad, and I wasn't able to use the 3D model for a very long time. And then I asked them to change it, and all they did was change the hair color just a tiny bit, but I had to wait an entire year for that to happen, and they didn't even make any of the changes that I asked about. And then I only got to use it like 2 times, and then I woke up from the dream.
There's been multiple instances where the company felt like it was breathing down their necks while simultaneously not being there for them when it was the most needed. And to be fair, perhaps some of these restrictions are there to protect the livers. After all, the corporate life isn't for everybody. But surely the perks have to exceed the downsides, or else why would anyone stay? For a while, we all thought Victoria's Bright Shield graduation was due to the increased scrutiny Nijisanji EN had been under after the Silen Gate incident, which for sure made it a heavier environment to work in. But it still came as a surprise when Victoria came out and reclarified her reasons for graduating, which were not because of people harassing her or even because of the negativity surrounding
Susu Dutch Lady membekalkan 7 kali lebih vitamin D daripada sarapan biasa untuk menyokong
company, but really it was for probably the same reason all the others graduates left. Feeling unhappy, underappreciated, coupled with poor financial perks and feeling restricted by the suit upstairs.
It's probably not a surprise to you guys that I'm pretty unhappy here. When those bad things keep happening and they keep adding up, there were many reasons that kind of led me to this. But, you know, what caused me to make these decisions are people that will probably never care and probably don't know anything about me. It's more about the decisions that the company takes that I just cannot agree with. and I don't understand. If my reasons were because I felt that I was getting way too much hate, that's just like the cost of business, I think, if you become a VTuber. So, no, I love you guys so much. I don't give a fuck about being hated on. That would never stop me. What I meant for, you know, people that will never know my name or what I even do is for the suits upstairs.
It's hard because most of them have voiced frustrations about not even
upstairs or know my name or what I even do. It's for the suits upstairs.
It's hard because most of them have voiced frustrations about not even being able to invest back some of their own money into projects they want to see come to fruition for their fans. And this structure, coupled with lack of support and promotion, has become so difficult for these VTubers to continue their activities for an extended period of time. Recently, a series of alleged leaked DMs and chats from an undisclosed Nijisanji liver have also surfaced, and they don't look good. In the first screenshots, we can see a liver tell how they were encouraged to spend for their debut, how they are now $10,000 in debts. And again here, the sentiment of not being able to do the things that I want to do. The same liver goes on to state, it's not the same as before, it's so unfair to us, we make 50% of everything, they have done nothing for me. It's just very skewed. It sucks, like we technically are not allowed to do anything else content related. It's great. They don't want us to have anything else. I can't do anything, I get nothing, and I'm supposed to be happy with that. We were heavily encouraged to spend money on debut, so I did because we all thought it's fine. Others made like $25,000 first month. I get my first paycheck $100. They took 90% of it to pay off my assets. And it also seems that this undisclosed liver wasn't able to earn money for 9 months because things kept getting delayed. We can only assume it was probably because they were getting prepped for debuting. I was told I'd get a certain amount of money and it can go to whatever I want, so I'm thinking, okay, finally I can live off of this for a few months, I'll budget, etc. They took it and put it into assets funds, and I was never told that. They just did it. We were told to quit our jobs for this. You can't stream elsewhere. I had to delete all my old accounts, delete my Discord server, etc. So I have nothing. All my old fans are gone. And this brings me to my next point, the uneven restrictions when it comes to letting livers speak out on certain topics. The Nijisanji fanbase stretches far and wide, and groups of people from all kind of culture come together for their love of VTubers. And while that is beautiful in one way, the pitfall of this is that there is bound to be cultural clashes. We've already witnessed a few instances of this. Vox Yo Mama joke was met with backlash and even people asking him to graduate.
And because people have brought it up, I'm just going to clarify something. I did have a talk with Sonny and he wasn't offended by my fucking joke at all. Because in our culture, it's not something offensive to say. It's just a silly little piece of mindless banter that a lot of people from both the UK, Australia, and just general West Western countries don't really think twice about.
Kyo's Korean plastic surgery joke as well, and let's not forget the laundry list rabid fans drafted against Dina Kozaka's perceived harmful quote-unquote actions. They were all nothing burgers, and they would have stayed nothing burgers if the livers were at the very least allowed to squash dissents and nip rumors in the bud. But instead, they are forced to remain silent time and time again on issues where they should have been allowed to speak up, or worse even, to apologize for things they should have never had to apologize for. After Kyo received backlash for his plastic surgery joke, he proclaimed he wouldn't apologize for it as he had done nothing wrong. However, mysteriously a few days later, he posted an apology on Twitter, which raised a few eyebrows. Kuro and Matara also echoed a similar feeling when it came to their own issues.
I wish I would have been allowed to address, because I wish I would have been allowed to address things.
But on the other hand, Niji Sanji isn't heavy-handed enough when it comes to their livers speaking out of terms, such as when Uki Violeta made jokes about white people. It really feels like their priorities aren't where they should be. Another issue that has arisen is that dissent doesn't just come from part of their fan base. I don't want to generalize the entire fan base. I'd say it's usually a loud minority that causes the most issues, but it also now comes from outside the fan base. As you guys may know, the reputation of the company was already going downhill before the unfortunate events of the Selen Gate, but it practically nosedived after it. And then there are strings of instances where Niji failed to meet fans' bottom line expectations that were so very dependent on them keeping the trust in the company they supported, such as the cancellation of the LA concert so very close to the expo date, and the Yab Studio situation, which happened a few months ago, where allegations surfaced that an employee of Yab had drugged their talents, secretly took pictures and videos of them without consent and leaked them to third parties. But Niji Sanji has not done anything yet to salvage any music video affecting by the situation. And this has made it particularly difficult for new VTubers to thrive within the company. Most people may enjoy their content, but simultaneously want to boycott the company and apply pressure to push for better work environment and advantages for the talents. The company has lost trust of the EN VTuber fanbase. So we are at an impasse. How do we support the talents without supporting the company, knowing the company takes a revenue over everything they do? On one hand, I completely understand audiences wanting to vote with their wallet or their time if they're deciding to watch a live stream. But on the other hand, I also sympathize with this Niji Sanji liver, for example, who's now having financial difficulties because they debuted they're in debt and believes that things won't get better because, quote, people won't support the company no matter what because a lot of fans who would be interested in my content are not willing to watch the company. My audience is mainly constituted of antis and the company won't do anything to support us. And again, the lack of support by itself isn't the worst case scenario, but it's a lack of support compounded with them taking a sizable cut of your profit, compounded with the overbearing restrictions that make it so many many are thinking, well, at this rate, I might as well try this on my own and see what happens. Which is more or less what happened when Niji-Sanji ex-talent Hex Haywire decided to graduate from the company on August 23rd.
But when it comes to content, they're pretty hands-off. They'll tell you when you're not supposed to do something, and they'll give you a list of, things you cannot do, but they're pretty hands-off. Yeah, it's a little bit more work. So I'm working right now more than I ever have been in Wendy's, but it's also more fulfilling to be able to make the content that I want, but also make the content that I feel that you guys would like too.
And perhaps
stocks cannot go up in a straight line forever, right? After some run up, just like when you climb up a 10-story building, right, you need to.
This is symptomatic of a wider societal change that we're seeing post-COVID, where people, and young people especially, don't necessarily want to work jobs that aren't fulfilling anymore. After all, even with a 50% on revenue share, Hex was pretty successful. He amassed over 300,000 subscribers and earned over $439,000 in super chats alone on his channel in the span of 2 years. That's approximately $76,000 per year after the YouTube and agency fee. If we assume there is a 50% revenue cut on super